Do not, under any circumstance, give up on crypto now. In today's video, I want to take you through the summer relief rally scenario, but also taking you through what could happen over the course of the next few months as we try to establish a bear market bottom. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Let's jump right into it. So you can see here that Bitcoin is currently sitting at around $62,000. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know for a fact that I have publicly been bearish on Bitcoin for several months now. Every single relief rally, my community and I have been shorting Bitcoin on the way down. But more recently, I have entered a swing long on Bitcoin at $58,100. So if we take a look at the Bitcoin price action here, what you'll notice is this was my entry all the way down here where we had a significant wick lower, grabbing some downside liquidity and then getting a little bit of relief. Right now, Bitcoin is up around $4,000 from my entry. What is next for Bitcoin is the question on everyone's mind. Right now, this long trade, I've already secured just over $30,000 in profit, and I'm sitting just under $40,000 in unrealized profits while maintaining my existing Bitcoin shorts, which are up around the same, and my big trade is still sitting just above $600,000 in total profits, because I do think that after wherever this relief rally goes, Bitcoin will likely trend lower. But let's talk about the more immediate short term, why Bitcoin got the bounce that we highlighted. So taking a look at the structure of Bitcoin, you can see here that if we zoom out as a swing trader, you want to look for these high confluence zones. And we tapped into the 2024 value area low. Now, at the time when Bitcoin was hovering just around $65,000, there was tons of liquidity to the downside to be grabbed, but you'll notice also that tons of shorts were jumping into the market, creating the potential for a strong short squeeze after grabbing the downside liquidity. Right now, the liquidity is as such. On the 180-day time frame, there is still significantly more upside liquidity than downside liquidity. However, in a bear market, every single relief rally is categorized by some longs jumping into the market. And right now, we are entering our first potential resistance zone. 62K was actually the first take profit zone from my Bitcoin long, and you can see here that I did secure some profits on this trade, but now I am still gunning for a little bit higher here. So what are the targets? First, let's take a look at the liquidity, because on the one-day time frame, we're starting to even out a little bit, both longs and shorts relatively even. Now, taking a look at the 30-day time frame, we still have more cumulative short liquidation leverage in the market, and on the 90-day time frame, as we just discussed, 90-day, 180-day, there are more shorts in the market. So, I don't want to downplay the possibility of Bitcoin dropping again, grabbing downside liquidity and then moving up. But my base case is that we will continue to get that summer relief rally, and I am simply looking to play that price action. So why did we get this bounce? Not only did we tap into the 2024 value area low, not only did we go ahead and grab some of that downside liquidity, all the people that went long, but there were multiple scenarios that could have played out based on historical price action for Bitcoin. The first scenario, which was always a possibility, was that Bitcoin would just absolutely capitulate into June, midway through June, creating a significant low and then getting a little bit of a relief rally. Usually, July is a pretty bullish month for Bitcoin. And from the low here in the previous bear market, 2022 that is, up to the high, we saw over a 40% rally on Bitcoin after the low was established. Now, granted, this is still a relatively choppy low, but that's how the price action develops in bear markets. When we get these relief rallies, we rarely go straight up. And you can see here that if I go on the lower time frames, what typically happens when Bitcoin gets a pump in a bear market is it's very, very choppy price action, otherwise known as staircase up, elevator down. You can see that if we take a look at the low to the high, Bitcoin effectively pumped for over 3 months, pumped with that choppy price action to the upside. And then after that high was established, we effectively dumped and dropped below the recent local low within less than half the time. So this is something that we have to consider in bear markets. Staircase up, elevator down. Now the reverse is also true in bull markets, but we'll get to that in another video. Right now, Bitcoin is sitting at around $61,900. And if we zoom out, the other scenario that I was looking at was the 2018 scenario. Now, you'll probably know that creators like Benjamin Cowan talked about how we live in a simulation, and I can't help but agree, because not only did we not respect the June 2022 scenario, where we dropped significantly further, but we swept the low at the beginning of the year, similar to what we did in 2018, and now it looks like we're lining up for another potential relief rally, which in my opinion has already started. So what happened in 2018, just to give you a quick recap, we formed a low right at around $5,900 for Bitcoin. Then you can see that in June, right near the middle of June, getting close to the end of June, we created that local low, sweeping up this liquidity. But where did the local low find itself? $5,700. And then we had a decent relief rally once more, which I believe was, again, over 40%. Now, you have to pay attention to where we topped out on that relief rally, which was right at around that 200-day moving average. So this is something that I will definitely be keeping my eyes on for this potential relief rally. So keep those numbers in mind. $5,900, $5,700 once we swept those lows established at the beginning of the year. Now we go to today's price action. What happened for Bitcoin here? Well, the low at the beginning of the year was at around $59,000, a 10x, and the local low thus far, $57,000. Absolutely insane that it's simply just a 10x at this point. It feels like the market makers are toying with us, but I have to say, in my opinion, I still think that Bitcoin, after wherever this relief rally takes us, will likely move lower. Now let's talk about where the relief rally can take us into this summer. Because yes, this would be a nice weekly close, but we still have a lot of work to do. The first area of resistance is $62,000. And you can see that we're still struggling around this level, which is why I took some profits out of my long trade as shared in my community. So what I'm going to do here is maintain my existing long. I may look to take a new long if Bitcoin dumps a little bit further, but I will also hold my existing shorts in this market. Again, I know that this can confuse some of you, but I've explained it at length in the community. The reason why I would want to hold my existing shorts, this one where we entered at $81,500 within the community, but the bigger one where we entered at around $79,000 after taking profits on the way down from the original entry at $97,000, then adding to the position on the relief rally, is because I don't think that a relief rally surpasses my average entry on, for example, this Bitcoin short and of course my Tau short, where we're currently up around $90,000. Guys, all of these trades, long or short, as a swing trader, are shared within my community. It is a free community where I share all of my own personal trades and my overall market analysis. The reason it's free is because you trade with your own capital. So if that sounds interesting to you, the only requirement is that you DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram and you'll get access to my private group. You'll need to sign up to one of these affiliate exchange links down below and start trading on there, but you probably know by now that Bluffin is my go-to exchange. Now, if you'd like to join my community and you can't access Bluffin, Weeks, or any of these exchanges down below due to Mika, for example, well, we have a new partner for you. I'm pleased to announce that I now have an affiliate exchange link with Kraken, and so they are fully Mika compliant if this is something that you were concerned about, and you'll get access to my community if you sign up on here and you'd like to trade on there instead of the other options. I look forward to seeing you inside the community. So, 2018 scenario looks like it's on the cards. Bitcoin is currently sitting just below $62,000, and the potential target, the grand target for the relief rally may be, again, up to the 200-day moving average. That puts Bitcoin above $70,000. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself because, as we know, we are in a bear market. We are still structurally in a bear market, creating lower lows and lower highs. So until this trend changes, I'm not willing to say that, hey, we're now in a bull market. Any relief rally, if we make it up to here, for example, I will likely add to my existing swing short positions. So I'm maintaining both sides of the market. I am comfy in both sides here because we have such a great long entry and such great short entries. And now I can just sit on my hands and relax, let the price action do its thing. So if we take a look at the 2018 scenario a little bit more closely, I want to bring this to your attention. After we swept the low, we had one green weekly candle, which is effectively the candle that we're seeing right now. Then we had a second one. Then we had another drawdown, a little bit of a dump. People were probably expecting for us to move lower from here. And then we had that springboard to the upside. So in today's price action, what this would look like could be another move to the upside by Bitcoin, categorized by another drop, and then perhaps we springboard into this bull market support band, $70,000 to $72,000, up to around 75K. But again, when I take long trades, particularly in a bear market, I am very, very cautious with my targets. My next target for my Bitcoin long is right at around $65,000 because it's the bottom of the existing range that we were in. And then I will be targeting the 2021 all-time high all the way up to around $69,000, perhaps with a little bit of profit trimming right at the point of control of this range, which is around 67K. Then I would likely hold the rest of my position up until the low to mid 70K zone. I take profits on the way up. I don't just enter a trade and then have this grandiose profit target and sit in my position until then. I'm comfy sitting in my positions because I take profit. And that's something that I'd like to teach all of you when it comes to trading crypto. If you take profits on the way, you hold your position, then you're okay with playing with the rest of the profits in case we get a very, very nice move to the upside in this case. That being said though, like we discussed, I will maintain this massive Bitcoin short simply because I don't think that we make it all the way up here. And all of my stop losses are at break even. So worst case scenario, the positions that you're seeing here, I made $450,000 in realized profits on Bitcoin, and I cannot lose a single dollar more. Same thing with Tau. I made around $63,000 on this trade, and I cannot lose anything more. Right now, I'm using the unrealized profits, maintaining those positions, and will likely add to those positions if we get that strong move towards the bull market support band found between $70,000 and $72,000. And of course, that 200-day moving average, which is right above, coinciding with around $75,000. And this is effectively where we topped out in the prior bear market summer relief rallies. Keep in mind that the US market is closed today. That's a wrap for today's video. If we come back lower and we grab some of that downside liquidity, I would simply be looking for a new potential long in this market. However, so far so good as we consolidate right at around the $62,000 level. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe. I hope all of you have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.